Hi everybody, sanibonani, welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe and kule channel lena ngiyaye ngishare ijourney yami, you guys, being a special needs mom. I do have umntwana. I have three kids. I have a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old. Anyway, they will fight with me because they are about to be a year older than they were. And I have an 11-year-old. My 11-year-old daughter is a child with special need because she does have CP, which is cerebral palsy. So recently, I did share you guys that we have been going through some stuff with her, and because she is somebody that uses a wheelchair, she has had some issues with her hips, and for some time now she's had pains that we've had to deal with, and right now she's on a medication, yeah, pain. And the last appointment that we went to, because it was so bad, we went and saw this one doctor at Tegwini, and she referred us to another doctor because we had done x-rays which showed both her hips are dislocated, and then we went to see this doctor in Hillcrest, who is a specialist. So and it ended up being like we have to do this one operation with her that will help her with the pain. And guys, when it comes to dislocation of the hips, when it comes to children with cerebral palsy that use wheelchairs, it's not something that is unusual. It is not something that is unusual. It happens a lot with these kids. So we did have that expectation earlier on. A few years ago, we had been told, like doctors would say, eventually you guys might have to do this procedure, but we were hoping that we were going to be in that group of parents that do not have to go through it, and we've done a lot, like, to make sure that we don't have to go that route. I mean, we made sure that she would go for her physio appointments. We would stretch her at home and all of that. And but it happened that she was still affected in the way that she was affected. I think the thing that was harder for me is that the procedure that they thought we expected that she might have to do was the procedure that was not going to take anything away from her, because she was somebody, before she had the issues with the hip, she was somebody that could sit on her wheelchair. So she was having three different options when it came to her positioning. You could put her on the bed, and she could be on the wheelchair, and she could be also on a standing frame. You guys, a standing frame is what it is. A standing frame like, you make a stand on it. It's like a wheelchair but for standing, and then tie the belts on it, so she's on a standing position. So she could be on a standing position, on a sitting position, and then on the bed. Someone else might think, oh, that's not a big deal, like, but it's a great thing because she doesn't walk, she doesn't run around like other kids. So that position of her standing, it's very important to have it as an extra position that we can put her on. But for months now, we haven't been able to do that because of the issues with her hips. The thing about it, guys, is that we thought that the procedure that they were going to have to do were going to fix her hips, but it was not going to affect how many options we are going to have for her in terms of positions that we can put her on. But it ended up being like the damage was so much on her hips that the procedure that they're going to do now is going to help her with the pain, but it's going to take away the option of her being on the standing frame. So she will not be able to be on a standing frame anymore. So it was such a difficult decision for us to make. At the same time, she is in pain. So it was like, if we don't do this procedure, she still won't be able to be on a standing frame because she's in pain. If you put her on the standing frame, she's in so much pain. But if we go through this procedure, she still won't be able to be on a standing frame, but she won't be in pain. it's almost like a decision where you feel like you don't really have, it's not really a decision to make, because you can't let your child be in pain. You have to do something to make sure that the pain is taken away. But it was hard for us to make that decision, knowing that the possibilities are that because of the kind of procedure that they will do, she won't be able to be on a standing frame anymore. But then, we have to do something, because we really do need to take that pain away from her. So that is something that we're going to be going through. It's been a long process of us getting the information to try and see, are we making the right decision? What other options do we have? And we have made that decision that we're going to go ahead with the procedure that they're going to do. Last night, I actually got to talk to one parent that went through the process, you guys, because doctors can tell you that, you need to do this and this and that, but they're not parents, they're not parents of special needs, so they don't know how it feels like when we have to make these decisions. So I spoke to this parent and Izolo, because I got the number from a doctor, and I WhatsApped her, and she just called me on a video call, and we talked. And when she described how her child was, because her child is 10 years old, how her child was before the procedure, it was almost like she's describing my life, having to deal with the pain that the child was in, and the sleepless nights and all of that when she's in pain. So she feels like the procedure really helped her. She says they were in the hospital for only 3 days, because we've been told that we'll have to be in the hospital for 5 days. They were in the hospital for 3 days, and after that she was out, and she says within a week she was back to normal, and the child has never been in pain after that. And that gave me comfort. Of course, when a child is going through a procedure like that, you can never say for sure that everything will work out. So I'm still nervous. It's still hard, but I feel like I can't not make this decision, because she is in pain, but it hasn't been an easy decision. So we've made a decision that we will go ahead and do the operation. We are praying for miracles. We're praying that everything goes well. But at this point, we really just want to get her back to her smiling self, because before she was in this pain, she would be playing, she would be laughing, she would be smiling. So now you hardly ever get that from her. So it's hard. So we will be going through that process. Next week, on the 29th, she's going to have the operation. We're still busy with some admin and all of that, and then she will be going through that. Anyway, if there's any parents in there that have gone through procedures like that, please share in the comment section. I really cannot, sometimes it's hard to share on this channel, because it is my story, but it's not at the same time, because it is her story. So sometimes I don't feel okay with sharing every single details about what will be done to her. So it's hard to balance between telling my story without telling her story too much, because it is her story after all. So share with me if you've done any procedures similar to that in the comment section, and tell me how it went. It's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be a challenge, you guys, because we are still dealing with COVID, and I feel like being in the hospital, like they sent me these documents recently to sign, and they talked about the parent that will be with her have to be COVID tested. So that will be with her in the hospital. So I still have to find out from the hospital, because then I realized that they might not allow me, the caretaker, and her dad, all of us, to be in the hospital. And with her conditions, all of us are needed. I need her father there, because I'm gonna be needing support myself. I know her father wants to be there for her, for us as well. And also I need her caretaker to be there, because it's gonna be an emotional time for me. Sometimes she helps me when I need to do something and it gets emotional. She can remove the emotions from it. So she helps me a lot when we go for appointments. Her presence helps a lot. But from the documents I got from the hospital, we might not be able to all be there in the hospital. I might end up being the only one that has to go there, or her father has been to be the only one that has to go there. But we're gonna go to the hospital and find out how we can work around that. But I was so I'm so worried about it because they might not allow us to all be there. So we're going to be going through that, you guys. But I will see how much of that journey I can share, only because I also feel like, just like when I was told that I have to go through that process, I was looking for parents. I even put it on this group on Facebook where parents of kids with disabilities, to try and find somebody that they could tell me what their experience was like. So I feel like I want to be able to share this experience, and I'll probably try and do a vlog that I will post specifically on this channel, to make sure that I know another parent that maybe in the future will go, because it was so hard to find information. It's like a doctor will talk to you, but sometimes, as educated as you are, but sometimes ngathi bakhuluma is French or something, and you want the mom to be like, "Mom, don't worry, listen, I did it," because this mom was like, "I did it. If it's this doctor that is going to do it with you, this is the support that they gave to us even after." So I felt better afterwards. Like, I felt less worried. But it still is a scary process that we're going to go through. So I will share that journey on this channel, only because I do feel like it's something that needs to be out there for other parents to see. When you go through such a journey, this is what happens, and the things that you need to look out for when you make a decision. Is it gonna work out for us? Is it not gonna work out for us? Of course, we are hopeful and we're praying, and our family is praying as well, that everything goes well, and that at the end of all of this, it's worth it for us. Anyway, you guys, that's all that I wanted to share on this channel. If you are on this channel and also on my main channel, of course next week I won't post as much because we're gonna be busy with that, but I will do another video in my main channel just to make sure that people know that we are going to be going through this. And so when people don't see me on YouTube, they know that it's because we are busy with this one procedure. But guys, if you can pray for us, please pray for us. I'm sure that we will see you on the other side. Thank you so much for watching my video. Like it before niphuma kuyona, and share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ngiyathanda kakhulu.